Well, hello everybody. Hope everyone is okay and comfortable. Firstly, I'd just like to let you know if you want to make any questions, feel free to leave a message here in our chat box, and at the end we will have a Q&A session. So, firstly, the theme that brings us here today is corporate migration, obviously to Portugal. My name is Angelique Schubert. I am a legal intern at Caiado Guerreiro. Together with me is my colleague Antonio Rodrigues, a lawyer at Caiado Guerreiro. Currently, we are both in the immigration department of Caiado Guerreiro, which is a full-service law firm. It has been established for over 40 years and offers a wide range of legal activities from immigration to corporate to tax law, you name it, we do it. Our legal team is comprised of 14 bilingual lawyers. We are available 24/7, 7 days a week to help everyone who's interested in immigrating to Portugal.
Hello, everybody. So let's start with our issue regarding the corporate migration to Portugal. Well, starting to our introduction, when planning to migrate and incorporate a company abroad, many factors must be taken into consideration, ranging from the necessary visas to do it, finding partners to trade and make deals with, choosing where to live and set up a shop, bureaucratic aspects like the taxpaying number, the social security, the immigration office, market analysis, the project expenses like costs with employees and suppliers, the marketing strategy, and among others. Today, we plan to help you on the corporate level of things to consider, specifically how you can migrate your entrepreneurial aspirations to Portugal.
So the first question that has to be asked and answered, and I'm sorry for taking this moment away from the audience, is why Portugal? Well, first of all, I mean, have you seen the weather? It's brilliant. But apart from that, there are 5 other factors that we have chosen to highlight today in reasons to consider Portugal above maybe another European country. Firstly, you have access to an ecosystem of startups and competitive companies. The government has support and incentives for its smaller and bigger companies, highly qualified, hardworking employees, which are at an affordable cost. And of course, it is to notice Portugal is notorious for its safety, among other in the world, really, not just the European Union. And then, of course, we couldn't not refer the access to the European market and to the Schengen area. So how can I venture my business to Portugal? Well, there are many different ways, but we chose to highlight the 3 main ones, which end up encompassing all the other ways you can bring your company to Portugal. Of course, there is the first and most obvious way, which is building a company from scratch, which is Portugal is actually very easy to do. You can do it in one day if you are so inclined. Another option is to set up a branch from an existing company in Portugal, or you can just decide to move the whole company to Portugal.
Well, let's start with our main question is how to create a company. Well, we will talk now about the different but simple steps to incorporate a company in Portugal. So, first of all, the step 1, the first step is to gather the necessary documentation to incorporate a company, which is different if the shareholder or shareholders are individuals or companies. Therefore, it is important to keep both options in mind. If the shareholders are a natural person, only the identification document or passport of the country of origin is required. If all shareholders of the future company are legal persons, corporations, well, they will need to show updated documentation from the commercial registry about the incorporation of the company in its origin country. The minutes of the general meeting granting powers for the company incorporation, the identification of the person who is granting power to sign incorporation of the new company, and the last but not the least, the company bylaws in its origin country. At this stage, It is important to mention that the documentation must be previously apostilled by the competent entity of the country of origin, as well as a certified translation will be necessary for presentation to the Portuguese Commercial Registry Office.
After this step, of course, it will be necessary to choose the type of business. Well, there are different types of companies one can set up in Portugal, which also highlight the three most important, ranging from sole proprietorship to multiple proprietorship. Starting with the single limited company by quotas, the so-called unipessoal LDA in Portuguese, these companies' share capital is completely owned by a single person or company, whose minimum legal value is of €1. So as you can see, it's very cheap to set up a company in Portugal. The particularity of this type of company, however, is that under Portuguese law, one person or one company can only own one company in this way. So this is a direct effect connected to the sole shareholder principle. On the other hand, we have the companies limited by quotas, the so-called LDA companies, where the capital is divided into quotas and not shares, and the legal minimum amount is also of €1. The shareholder's liability is limited to the amount of capital or the stake each person or company holds in the company, and the corporate bodies are composed by managers. As for the companies limited by shares, the SA companies, the capital is divided into shares, being the legal minimum amount of €50,000. This is where it is a little bit different from the others. And the shareholder's liability, although, is also limited to the value of the stake each shareholder holds or has subscribed in the company. The company can be managed by a single director if the share capital is lower than or below €200,000, or by a board of directors. If the Portuguese company is not fully owned by another company in a system of subsidiarity, then Portuguese law determines that there is a need for a minimum of 5 shareholders, which is something very important to keep in mind.
Well, besides the type of legal type of the company do you want to incorporate, you must to state the company's registered head office, object, share capital amount, identify the manager, and how to buy the company. How many signatures are sufficient to buy the company? Well, step 3 and most important one is register your company. The incorporation of a company can be done quickly and without bureaucracy through the service Empresa na Hora. It is done by the representative of shareholders, can be lawyers with a power of attorney to do it. And and the following steps you must take into consideration. Well, the first one is the name. You must choose a company's name. You have two options here. You can choose from a list of pre-approved names. In this case, the choice of the name can be made at the time of incorporation and the approval is automatic. Or you can choose the name for your company. To ensure the proper name of your company, you must first apply for certificate of admissibility from the Portuguese Commercial Registry Services. This service can be done online and approved within 24 hours. Well, the next one is the nomination of the shareholders, managers, and company accountant. In this regard, the shareholders and the managers must have a Portuguese tax identification number. Therefore, the adoption of the company bylaws from among the pre-approved models according to the type of the company. And finally, formalizing the company bylaws and concluding the company commercial registry. Strictly speaking, by this point, the company is created. The next step is paying up the share capital. The shareholders must deposit the share capital in different options declared in the company bylaws. You can declare that the share capital has already been deposited. Declare that deposit of the share capital within 5 working days of the company's incorporation. Declare that it will be deposited at the end of the first financial year. And regarding the company, regarding the commercial registry, everything is done at this moment. The next steps are different. You must open a bank account. You must prepare the declaration of starting your activity to submit it to the tax authority. You must have the social security registration of the company managers. And the last one, but very important, is declare the beneficial ownership within 1 month of the company incorporation. Well, another form of entity to incorporate in Portugal is setting up a branch. Through the branch on the spot procedure, it is possible to incorporate a branch with a little bureaucracy and concentrated manner before the commercial registry offices or in espaço empresa spots existence through the country. The necessary documents without prejudice to additional requirements that may be required from entities operating in regular sectors. Well, the necessary documents are the identity document of the applicant, the document guaranteeing powers of the attorney to the applicant from the incorporation of the branch, the company resolution, the document proving the legal existence of the parent entity, the update articles of association or bylaws of the parent entity, the resolution approving the incorporation of the branch, and, apart from the other identifying details of the branch, appointing the respective representative, which shall be identified with a full name, resident, and taxpaying number. And finally, the declaration of the beneficial owner of the branch. Please attention, these documents issued by a foreign language shall be accompanied by a certified translation and certified by the Hague Convention Apostille when applicable. A final note regarding these kind of entities is that the branch don't have a legal personality.
Thank you, Antonio. And that is exactly one of the ways we can differ the opening of a branch to migrating the whole company itself, because what is happening is there is a transfer of the legal personality of an existing branch over to, well, not a branch, but a company, to a new company set up in Portugal, but which is essentially the same as before. There is a recognition of the legal personality. Because of this fact, one of the most important documents to present when migrating a whole company is, of course, the certified copy of the respective law stating the possibility of transfer of the headquarters to a different company, to a different country. I'm sorry. How is this different? Well, basically, when migrating the whole company, what is happening is the headquarters and de facto management of that country is being changed over to a new country. So it is not necessarily the end of the original company itself. But the process, however, is very similar to setting up a company from scratch, with the difference where you have a few extra steps regarding the maintaining the original personality and historical baggage of the initial company. So the other documents that would have to be presented is, of course, the document proving the legal existence of the original entity. Similar to what we do with branches, where we prove the existence of the mother company, we will, of course, have to prove the existence that the company that is migrating to Portugal already existed. To this effect, it will also be necessary to present the certified copy of the company's bylaws, the registration certificate of the company, the certified copy of the decision, well, the resolution by the board of directors approving this transfer, and of course the statement of the beneficial owner. These documents will, of course, all have to be legalized and translated, or they would have to be apostilled by the Hague Convention. And once this is done, a new social contract must be approved in accordance to Portuguese law, and new managers and administrators must be approved so as to basically comply with Portuguese law. One cannot have a company coming from a different country and not adapt itself to the Portuguese legislation, obviously. The name must also be approved. One cannot simply give any name to a company for many different reasons. And of course, when migrating a company, name the laws that define what a company can and cannot be named must also be taken into accordance with Portuguese law. And then the final step is, of course, to register the company. And so basically, this is it. The whole objective of this presentation was to emphasize how simple and how straightforward it is to create a company in Portugal, to migrate a company into Portugal, or to just open a branch, which is something that that we can help with and that we take special care about. And we have a special passion in this area, as corporate is a very important part of Criado Correio. We will now be taking any questions, if there are any. If you are interested, here are our emails. You may send us an email at any time. As I said previously, we are available 7 days a week, 24/7. And we would be immensely happy to help with any doubts or to accompany you on any business venture that you might be interested in taking in Portugal. Well, if there are no questions, then we salute once again everyone that has attended this this event, and we thank you. We thank you for your presence, Simon. Thank you for your presence,
Thank you.
and
Thank you,
to
Simon.
everyone who has come today. We have one question. Excellent. Two questions. Is the tax rate from Javier Jimenez, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly, is the tax rate in Portugal for these companies the same as the Portuguese? I am assuming you are referring to companies migrating from a foreign country. The tax rate in Portugal is 21% on gains, so on profits. So of course, what is not considered profit will not be taxed. Yeah, exactly. So you have to defer between individual persons and legal persons. So the tax on companies is general rule 21% on profits. I hope that helps. Antonio, would you like to get the second question?
Mr. David, we are planning to relocate to Portugal in 2-3 years. At the moment, I'm run design company in construction industry, self-employed partnership. I have been advised to apply a passive income visa. Well, this visa, it's for entrepreneurs. Yeah, you must incorporate a company, a startup company. It's a different process than related to immigration purposes too. But the structure will be the same. But it's a special visa, different from this commercial perspective of this issue.
Yeah, there are actually, for if you are self-employed, it would actually maybe, instead of the passive income visa, also known as the D7 visa, the D7 visa, maybe the D2 visa, which is the entrepreneur's visa, would be a better bet, because what happens with this visa is you are attributed residency by incorporating a company in Portugal. And basically, to this effect, you would present a business plan and then incorporate your country here, and it would be easier since you are in construction. However, if you are interested, you can send us an email with your situation, and we would be happy to schedule a call and give you all the different options available, from the passive income visa to the entrepreneur visa to the startup visa. There are many different options for for single persons. Today we spoke about the legal person, so like company from a point of view of a company and not of the point of view of a person. We will have a webinar as well in June regarding the D2 visa, the D7 visa, and the European Blue Card, as they call it. So if you are interested in learning about those, definitely keep an eye on our LinkedIn and on our site, and you will be able to attend this event. Then down to David McLennan. To take advantage of the NHR, so the Residente Não Habitual benefits, are there any benefits being self-employed, or should I just start up a new company? Well, yeah, regarding the NHR, the Residente Não Habitual regime, it is not necessary to start a company in order to benefit from to benefit from this this regime, so to speak. Basically, the most important thing of the NHR is declaring to the tax authorities that you wish to make Portugal your permanent residency. And then depending if you are a worker of added tax value, so anything from doctors to engineers to dentists, there's a whole range of, or professors, there's a whole range of people that can apply for this system. So it's not necessary to start a new company, although it is not incompatible to start a new company with benefiting from this tax regime. Of course, we are not exactly in the tax part of Caiado de Guerreiro. We are more in corporate and oh right, okay, no problem, understood. Yeah, exactly. So like I was saying, for example, the D2 visa, the entrepreneur visa, and the NHR tax system are not mutually exclusive. So, and because we are not part of the fiscal part of Caiado de Guerreiro, we are more corporate and migration. If you would like to exactly like I said, send us an email with your situation, we would be more than happy to inform you on the details and on the applicability of these regimes to your situation. Do we have any other questions? Thank you, Javier and David, for your participation.
Thank you.
And for everyone who has... I will talk to our marketing department to see if this recording will be made available. I am not certain at this moment. We will, however, be writing an article on what we have discussed today, which will be available soon on our LinkedIn and on our site. So you will definitely be able to get the contents of what was discussed today.
Yes, and we will always be available through our emails if
exactly
some further question
are here. Okay, well, I think that pretty much sums it up. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone who has come and has made asked questions and listened to us going on for 15 minutes. It was very nice to have you all and to receive your questions, and we hope to hear from you through our email or in our future webinars concerning the other visas. And we also are going to have, I think in May, a webinar exclusively dedicated to the NHR benefits for those who are interested in this tax regime, which will be accompanied by one of our colleagues that is in the tax law department. So I think that is something that might be useful for some of you present. And thank you so much for hearing us and for being present. Have a great weekend.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.